So you ready to give us some scoop on Castle?
Yes, I am, Matt. You know, I just wanted to point out that I'm noticing that you're dressed kind of like Beckett today.
Okay, number one, total coincidence. And number two, I have on a much more sensible heel.
Yeah.
Welcome to Spoiler Alert, where we talk about and spoil the shows you're obsessed with. This week, we reveal our theories for what's in that mysterious folder on Scandal.
Oh my God.
We assess the first 2 episodes of Homeland and the first episode of American Horror Story Coven. And as you just saw, Matt Mitovich shared some quality time with Stana Katic, and they did more than just flirt, I understand.
Well, that's a heavy
Would that be
word.
correct?
That's a loaded word.
So you caught up with her earlier this week.
Well, first of all, Beckett just got fired.
She did.
Kind of with no tact from Lisa Edelstein's character. I mean, she just showed up at the doorstep and said,
I'm here to tell you you're fired.
So that raises a lot of questions. Can Beckett just go back to her job at the NYPD? What's next for her and Rick? What are their living arrangements? Because he just bought them an apartment in D.C. Are the boys at the 12th going to welcome her back? So we covered a lot of topics, but what we got here in this little video clip is her talking about going back to the NYPD and the issue that Casket will have to deal with.
Check it out.
So what's next for Kate career-wise? Is it not just a matter of her jumping back to the NYPD?
No, because the position is taken and there's some sort of a hiring freeze. So she doesn't have an open space back in the NYPD, and she has to kind of ingratiate herself back into the good graces of Captain Gates, the boys, everything.
Are there any other issues for Rick and Kate that might keep their relationship from just coasting for a little bit?
You know, I think one of the issues is Alexis, and it's not necessarily an issue for Kate, but I think for Castle and Alexis, they're trying to figure out what does it mean to have another person come into Castle's life, and Alexis is kind of adjusting to some of that. Just finding out how to define that relationship and how things will change when there's possibly a new person in her dad's life.
Interesting.
She's a good egg.
You look really handsome in that clip.
I wasn't in that clip.
Scandal. I thought it was a great first episode. Like, any concerns there were that the show was going to sort of take a nosedive in quality or momentum?
Because this is technically its sophomore year. You know, since season 1 was just a handful of episodes, this is really a time for any sophomore slump.
Right.
But I'm not seeing any signs yet.
How many times did Fitz and I sleep together? 3? 5? How many would you be okay with?
I loved that scene with Mellie, Fitz, and Olivia.
In the bunker when she pulled the fire alarm?
2. Okay. Fitz and I slept together twice.
It was great where they're negotiating how many nights they slept together in front of Mellie. It was just fantastic.
The first time was?
After I was elected, you didn't get the job because we were sleeping together. Might as well make sure nobody questions that.
That was like 9 minutes.
For Scandal,
Yeah.
which just, you know, bats around scene to scene to scene, that was a long...
And I just love it in general when Olivia lays out a plan, like down to the wardrobe and everything.
You hold hands. Millie wears a soft color, lavender or light blue.
Like, she just really thinks it all through.
You just see her at her job, and she's really good at it.
Yeah.
What do you think is in the folder, Operation Remington?
Well, this is what's so confusing, is from that one scene we got, it seems, you know, it's about some off-book op that Fitz and Scott Foley's character ran years ago in Iran. I'm immediately thinking, oh, it's just one of your standard TV spy show atrocities, like they blew up a village of innocent people or something.
Yeah.
But then when I'm talking to Shonda and I'm talking to Scott Foley at the Saks event, yeah, they're all, this is about Olivia. Scott Foley said, imagine the darkest thing you can think about Olivia. That's how dark the Remington secret is.
And did you see some of the speculation from our readers was that possibly Fitz had a role in her mother's death? That somehow there was some kind of operation that took down her plane or something like that.
And what if whoever they killed in the Operation Remington, you know, was somehow, what if they killed her parents when she was young or something? Because she obviously was legitimately raised by Rowan. But, you know, that the timeline doesn't work out for that. So I'm really curious how this is going to dovetail with Olivia's backstory.
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for Fitz and Olivia, I can tell you that.
But then I also think Shonda kind of hinted to me over the summer that this season might start raising some questions about the timing of Olivia's relationship with Fitz. So maybe it wasn't so happenstance. Maybe it wasn't just two people. Maybe Olivia was targeting Fitz.
Interesting.
But it's a really interesting thing with this Remington thing because it seems so random at the beginning.
Right.
And you're like, well, this is obviously going to be off in Cyrus's and Rowan's part of the world. What does this have to do with everybody else? But obviously it's going to have a lot to do with it. While we're on the topic, Scandal, the whole Quinn thing.
Couldn't we just kill another intern? It wouldn't be that hard.
I know Katie Lowes really enjoys having this edge to the character.
Yeah.
Now that she's a little bloodthirsty, but, you know.
They can't take it too far.
Right.
Like, they can't have her, like, turn into a killer.
I mean, this girl was a rube when she showed up 2.5 seasons ago.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I think they need to maybe slow that down a little bit before she gets a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Moving on to Homeland, 2 episodes into season 3. Kind of a quieter start than season 2. You know, there was a lot of criticism that the show got too 24 heavy in season 2, and I almost feel like maybe these first couple episodes are acknowledgement of that. Just very sort of quiet drama. I'm enjoying it so far, you know, and I, interestingly enough, I don't really miss Brody, which surprises me because he's such a big part of the show, and obviously he's going to be coming.
You know, it's a solid enough start. That second episode, though, I remember when I was watching it the first time, and they're spending so much time on the Dana thing.
Is it a challenge?
Why would it be a challenge?
And I was one of the first people to sing Morgan Saylor's praises as a young actress. I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
In, you know, contained doses. But that second episode, I kept thinking, oh, now they're going to cut away from that storyline. No, they didn't. Now they're going to cut away. They kept sticking with that storyline.
It's no secret that fans don't love that character.
She's famous in a bad way.
The word is infamous.
Maybe if part of this is they're rehabilitating her so that, you know, people do start caring about her.
I am not gonna let everybody tell me what I should be thinking all the time. Like, I can't decide for myself.
It didn't bother me, honestly, that much. I also was surprised, though, because it felt like a little bit of an FU to fans, like, oh, you don't like her? We're going to give you more of her.
Right, right. It's obviously their way of keeping Brody on the canvas without having Brody on the canvas just yet. And it is a legitimate beat to play. What are possible ramifications for a family after the patriarch has been revealed as a traitor? One thing I enjoy about the new season is this new Farah character. I loved that speech she gave.
Your client is funding attacks by terrorists on this country, and all you want to know is how did we find out?
But then, you know, Josh Lewis stood up and shut her down and said, that's no way to ask for a favor here in our country.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what they do with her.
And it's more for Mandy Patinkin to do, and I have a feeling that he's already going to have so much to do this season, almost to the point where I wonder if he's going to be like a lead actor. Instead of supporting actor come Emmy time. American Horror Story Coven premiered on Wednesday. Pretty good first episode, I have to say.
Yeah, the Horror Story premieres are always very interesting because you get to meet all the players and see just kind of what twisted banana pants stuff it's going to be serving up.
And there was so much setup, though. It felt like there was so much to establish, as with any season, because it's a whole new premise, it's a whole new world, whole new set of characters. And for the most part, I'm really intrigued by all of these characters.
But then I was a little disappointed as I'm watching the premiere. You know, I was like, oh, well, Jessica Lange's in this one world, and Kathy Bates is in this other world, this other timeline. So when that final scene came up, Kathy Bates joined the rest of us, I was like, this is going to be very cool.
And also that last line that Jessica delivered where she called Kathy Bates' character Mary Todd Lincoln, hilarious.
You want Mary Todd Lincoln? I'll buy you a drink.
And gave me an instant sense of what that dynamic is going to be like, and I can't wait.
Yeah, well, Ryan Murphy said this is going to be a slightly lighter, a little bit more fun version of Horror Story. Now we know what role Sarah Paulson's got. I hope we get a little bit more of Lily Robb and maybe Evan Peters.
I'm sure we're going to get more of Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed what Evan did with that character in the first episode.
Well, I'm assuming that Lily is probably going to be the one who brings Evan's character back to life.
Could be, could be.
You know, maybe that's too obvious. I don't
and,
know.
You know, Tessa Farmiga's got this, you know, kind of timid character, but you just know she's probably going to act out at this point, and she's got just a horrendous superpower.
Really?
Yeah,
for
horrible.
Witch. Yeah, when you're choosing your witchy superpower off the list, that's got to be at the bottom.
Right, which is going to make relationship building for her rather difficult.
Yeah.
Also love the score. It's just a beautiful score, and I feel like it fits the theme so well.
Which is her big thing this fall? Which is the East End, the originals, just in time for Halloween.
It's a trend.
I don't have a broom. That's ironic.
Thank you, Matt.
Always a pleasure. Remember, I may be a monster, but I'm your monster.
I am a monster, but honey, I'm your monster.
If you say so. As the credits roll, we're going to replay one of my favorite Emmy interviews. As you know, I don't toot my horn often.
You always toot your horn.
On the red carpet, most interviewers have trouble keeping track of storylines and actors and all of this stuff because it's just insanity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's flashbulbs going off, publicists screaming, all of this craziness. But I did a really good job in this interview of really staying on point and remembering what I was talking about, remembering what the storyline was. And I felt so rewarded by the comments in the comment section. Like even our snarky readers were like, this was some of your finest work, Osceola. So I'd like to just play it. Indulge me on this.
I'm excited. No, this will be good.
Great.
I do end up telling people, colleagues of Amy Farrah Fowler's, Sheldon tells them, because he thinks it's a good thing to tell them, that they you know, they've got a good relationship and a physical one, and that one time he spanked her. Which he did. And I think his willing to admit that explains how he felt about that. It needed to happen. It wasn't pleasurable.
For
It
either
hurts me
one of
more than it hurts you. You know, yeah. Well, no, she loved it. Are you kidding me?
Did she, though?
That episode goes out on a spanking last year with her going, oh my.
I don't know that she really liked it, though.
Well, I hope you get her here and can ask her.
I want to get her on the record and confirm that she enjoyed
Give the background to the spanking.
Hi, I'm Allison Brie.
And I'm Joel McHale.
And subscribe to ENT TV.
It's just ENTV for all your entertainment news.
No, it's EENTV.
It's just ENTV, so whatever.
It's ENENTEVE. Unless it conflicts with anything, channel or company we work for. I'm Allison Brie.
Signing off.